take the energy.
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio and the longest-running show on this channel. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider. It gives me street cred with the whack alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And in the studio is Tacy, my partner in all things. Hello, Tacy.
Hello, Steve.
This is a show for people who had never listened to a medical show on the radio. If you got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call at 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. I can't mention contractually. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take anything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on the show without talking it over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, pharmacist, chiropractor, acupuncturist, yoga master, physical therapist, or whatever. All right, very good. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. Did you notice that I placed an order for CBD nasal spray?
Yeah, I did. I saw an order for 3, and...
Did you bring it?
No.
Are you guys, I mean, you can ship it to me. It's fine, but I got used to the last couple of times I ordered it. You just brought it to me.
I know. Special delivery for Dr. Steve and I dropped the CBD.
Right. I'm actually out, so I'm looking forward to getting that.
Jonesing for it.
I'm not really jonesing for it, but it is a part of my nighttime routine, a.k.a. my ablutions, which is a word no one uses anymore.
No, I don't even
for a
think
good reason.
Yeah, let's get for a good reason. Well, yeah, Tacy and I have this running argument. She thinks that the language should just evolve any old way it wants to, and I think that the reason Webster made a dictionary was to keep heresy from creeping into the language. That's why you have organized religion, right? Is to keep heretical views from creeping in, just sort of taking over as things morph.
And God forbid you say "I" when you should say "me,"
or
vice versa.
Okay,
fun to watch TV with. Big fun.
Well, it's just reality TV because people are dumb and they're on there and they'll say, "Oh yeah, Becca and I's relationship." It's like, oh that God. Goes all over me.
No, me too. It kills me. Hey, my grandmother used to write me letters.
Or me and Scott do X, Y, and Z. That one drives me crazy, too. There's reasons why there are rules, and it's because if you don't do the rules, you sound dumb.
Like
but
that,
anyway.
yeah. But I've been like that forever because my grandmother used to literally write me letters, and then I'd write her a letter back, and then she'd highlight, she'd correct my grammar and mail it back.
-3.
And then she'd mail it back to me.
That's hilarious.
She would correct my grammar and mail it back. So I always had like PTSD every time I saw these red marks on my letters. I'm like, damn, what'd I do this time?
I know. Well, I have a journalism minor.
Yes, sir.
So it's hard to get that out of your head.
Agreed.
And then I had a teacher, his name was Tex Wood, when I was at in school as a kid, and he was extremely strict about certain things. And if you said a person that instead of a person who, you would get an F. And I wrote a paper about Moby Dick, and we had to use certain words. So prelapsarian was one of them.
Okay.
I had to use the word prelapsarian in there. And if you did, he would circle that and give you extra points. And so he was kind of easy to work. But the first sentence was Moby Dick is about a ship's captain that, and he marked it. First sentence, marked it out and put F and just gave it back to me. But I never made that fucking mistake.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Old Tex Wood.
I'll say that's still got PTSD from that.
I do a little bit, but I learned a lot from him, though.
Oh yeah, you never did it twice.
He was the soccer coach, and he would put me in, and he knew I smoked, and he would put me in as like right wing, and I'd be holding up my hand to be taken out of the game, and he would just ignore me. I'd be dying out there.
I love it.
Fucking ticks.
Oh,
anyway.
my gosh.
All right. I do. We had a question from the Fluid family from Johnny Longfeather. And so we should get that one under our belt.
Let's
first.
do it.
You want to bring it to us?
I'll bring it to the table. So I have a question about prostatic fluid.
Yes.
That comes out when I poop.
Yes, absolutely. So
question,
first
good
thing.
question.
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
So that was really one of the first questions we ever answered. Mm-hmm. And it was not even on the show. It was the first day that we went to SiriusXM and they called me in to sit in with Opie and Anthony. I had no idea they were going to do that. Mm-hmm. I wasn't prepared for anything. They just said, yeah, next break, Dr. Steve's going to come in. And it's like, what? I just thought I was going to sit on the bleachers all day. And one of the first things that they had people call in medical questions, somebody called in this exact question, that when he moves his bowels, prostatic fluid comes out. So it's not an ejaculation, because I attribute that or I associate that with an orgasm.
Right.
This is purely fluid dynamics. So this person has large, hard American stools and has prostatic congestion. So remember, the back part of the prostate is the front part of the rectum. And so when you take a big, giant American turd and you pass it by a slightly enlarged prostate, maybe it hasn't been emptied out recently, if you know what I mean. You know.
I love to masturbate.
It could be that, or he could have been recently stimulated in a sexual way and did not complete the transaction, which we would then call blue balls, but it's prostatic congestion.
Right.
And fluid dynamics dictates that fluid will follow the path of least resistance. So when you pass that turd pass there, it does a prostatic massage. The fluid pressure builds up in the prostate, and it's got to go somewhere, so it goes out the end of the penis. Yep. We will induce this in the physician's office or provider's office, particularly if someone is complaining of maybe prostatitis.
Right.
And you can bend them over and lube them up and stick your finger in.
Should we have some music for this?
There
we go. That's better.
You stick your finger in their rectum, and you find the prostate. And if they're bending over, then the prostate will be parallel to the floor, right? So it'll be on the downside of that rectum. And you feel sort of this rubbery walnut thing, but when it's really infected or if it's got prostatic congestion, it'll be boggy and it will be soft. So basically, you just I get rid of that music. You massage down the right side, then down the left side, and then you sort of crook your finger and come right down the midline, and all of a sudden, fluid will come out of the patient's urethra, out of the urethral meatus, or a.k.a. the cockhole. Now, if you don't warn them about that, they're going to be cussing you. So you got to say, I'm going to express fluid from your prostate. Give them a slide or a petri dish and hold it under the urethral meatus so that they're prepared for it, because there's nothing worse than somebody thinking, oh, well, that doctor made me ejaculate. You know, what kind of a weirdo are they? You got to explain this stuff to them. So the medical students out there, don't do this stuff without explaining.
Tell them what you're doing first.
Yes.
So they know what to expect. Yeah.
Pap smears, everything. Always say, I'm getting
Everything.
ready to touch you. I'm getting ready to, you just say what you're doing, particularly if they can't see.
Especially if they've got their back to you.
They've got their back to you. You've got to give them some warning.
Yep.
So anyway, and then you could look at it under the microscope or whatever, and if there's white blood cells in there, you've made the diagnosis, so you can treat them, you do whatever. So this person is doing sort of that themselves. They're doing a prostatic massage just with fecal matter rather than with a provider's finger up their ass. So that's what that is. If it's happening a lot, even though you're keeping the pipes cleaned out, then I would, just get your prostate checked by somebody next time you're in there. I don't think, if you're not having any other symptoms, it's not a big emergency. Yep. But it is not an orgasm. It is not an ejaculation. It is purely fluid dynamics.
And it is not uncommon.
Yeah, not uncommon.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
So since we're talking about penises and prostates and stuff, I have a new drop that I'll be using from time to time on this show. And I found this. This was actually on the Creep Off subreddit. So if people don't know what the Creep Off is, it's Carl and Vinny. They're the hosts, and it is a comedy, true crime show actually for men, or that men will enjoy, because all other true crime shows are for Tacy. Am I wrong? I mean, they're
I
mostly
don't
for
listen
girls.
to a lot of podcasts. I'm going to have to find one for a trip I'm going on soon.
Yeah, well, okay.
So I'll need your help with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tukey Soup,
my
Bedabbling
goodness.
Live.
I'm not sure.
No.
Maybe I don't need your help with that.
You might have to tackle that on your own days.
But but this is one. Well, the Creep Off is a good one, Tace. And I was on. If you ever want to go back and listen to one that your old pal was on, it's called Concrete Enema. And it was. I did it before I knew how to interface with another show where the audio was right, and so I had this production where I had David C. Robertson from DC On Screen read this story about this serial killer in his sort of Joker voice, and I had music and everything, but the system stripped all the music out, so it sounds kind of dumb. But David did a great job, and check that out if you're interested in DC superhero movies, which Scott is shaking his head vigorously.
Can't wait.
no.
Me either.
But DC On Screen's the best one. But anyway, so I was on the Creep Off Reddit, and I found this. This is the greatest video of anyone ever being arrested of all time. And it's in Australia. And what happened was the police were alerted that there was an international criminal in this restaurant eating Chinese food. Well, it was a case of mistaken identity.
Oh, geez.
This guy was an artist, and they picked the wrong guy. And I wish that you guys could see it, but I will do a live stream on our YouTube channel, maybe even tonight, and we'll play it so you can see it. But you could just look it up. It's Charles Doza, or Dosha, D-O-Z-S-A, eating a succulent Chinese meal, and here it is. So here's the actual audio of it. So, okay, first thing he does is he comes out. The cops have the door open. There's cops surrounding him.
Oh, geez.
And he just comes out and he just slams the door shut for the cop car.
Mr. Clement, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
You're under arrest. I'm under what? So now they're struck.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Now they're trying to get him in the car, and there's 5 of them trying to push him in the car, and he isn't going anywhere.
Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
Every line is a gem. Get your hand off my penis. Just remember that for later.
Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Now, he says this like he's introducing somebody to someone else. This is the bloke who had his hand on my penis before.
Why did you do this to me? Hop in the car. Get some cups. For what reason? What is
Now they have him in a half Nelson.
charge?
no.
Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
Yeah, he has.
A succulent Chinese meal?
Wait a minute.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir.
Now, he's being ironic here. This guy's trying to get him in a headlock, and what he has is the cop has his elbow in front of his neck.
Okay.
And his hand on his shoulder. This is not a headlock.
Whoa.
So he's being sarcastic, and it's quite hilarious. So it's quite the headlock you've got there, sir.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well.
I see that you know your judo well. He's being completely sarcastic.
That's what I would do. Piss him off.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your...
So they got him pushed in front of the car. There's a guy in the car going to grab his legs, right? And he says, "Oh, and you, sir, are you prepared to accept my limp penis? How dare you, sir?"
Your judo well.
There we go.
Good one, sir. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me. Ta-ta and farewell.
So now they've got him by the legs and they're pulling him into the car, and his last words are "ta-ta and farewell." This is the greatest guy in the world. Anyway, there's a little bit more, but so if you guys ever piss me off, I've just got this new drop.
Get your hand off my penis!
So there you go. That replaced the medium length. The medium length. Give thyself a bell. I still have the long one and the short one, but
Get your hand off my penis!
It's hilarious. I like the one about the headlock, though. That is funny.
oh yeah. It's
I mean, God.
I see you know your judo well. It's like, just looking at the guy, and it's anyway.
It's hilarious. What's the guy look like? Is he a big dude?
He's a pretty big
good
dude.
size,
He was
yeah,
a
okay.
burly dude. Yeah. But I actually found, and I'll go over this on the live stream because I just love this so much. And there's people, the comments on the video are like, "I have to watch this every day to start my day." It's brilliant. And apparently he's an artist, and he's a very accomplished artist. And you could, he's a little eccentric, but pretty funny. And he said that they just came in and surrounded him. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" He was not the person they were looking for. And he said that he was influenced by the fruit of the grape as well. So that had something to do with it.
Fruit of the grape. I wonder how many grapes.
Ta-ta and
fermented
farewell.
grapes he consumed that day.
So great. So anyway, hey, Tacey, have you got Tacey's time of topics?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Get your hand off my penis!
Of course, I will abuse that until everyone's sick of it.
It's Tacey's time of topics. A time for Tacey to discuss topics of the day. Not to be confused with Topic Time with Harrison Young, which is copyrighted by Harrison Young and Area 58 Public Access. And now, here's Tacey.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello, Tacey.
Hello.
So this first one is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Okay.
But if you need to go to the
perfect.
bathroom, now's the
No,
time.
this is perfect for the show.
This is called the pigeon's rump cure. Physicians in the 19th century employed innumerable strange treatments, but this one is very bizarre. Summoned to treat a dangerously ill child one night in 1850, this physician had little success with conventional medicine, so in desperation,
Okay, I'm reading.
he asked the parents to get him a pigeon, and then placed its bottom next to that of its young patient. After the bird had been applied to the child's anus, he recorded in a medical journal. It gasped for air several times, closed its eyes periodically, then its feet twitched in spasm, and finally it vomited. The child made a miraculous recovery. Although the same could not be said for the pigeon. After refusing its food, it died a few hours later.
Yeah, I'm reading where this has been written up in other medical journals back in the day, and I wish I had Charles Doza. You could do AI. I need to feed his thing in there, and then I could have it read stuff. But if one holds the rump of a dove against the child's anus during the fit, the animal soon dies, and the attack ceases just as rapidly.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Get your hand off my penis!
Oh, goody.
Here we go.
The next
Wait a
one-
minute. Oh, my goodness. They did it for other things. Here they were treating preeclampsia with that as well.
With a pigeon rump
Or
cure?
eclampsia. Eclampsia is a serious condition affecting women before, during, and after childbirth. The name literally means bursting forth. Preeclampsia is bad. It's when it turns into eclampsia that it is
Really
extremely
bad,
bad. Okay, so until the 19th century, doctors also referred to the eclampsia of children. This was a misnomer. It was infant seizures, what they were looking at. And Carl Frederick Canstadt, was that the same person, Tace, that you read? This was all over the place then. This is a different person.
No.
One remedy I must mention here, whose unequivocal effects I have myself witnessed, however inexplicable the phenomenon. If one holds the rump of a dove against the child's anus during paroxysm, the animal quickly dies and the attack ceases just as rapidly. Wow. And it was, there's story after story in the old medical literature about this. How in the hell did that get started? I mean, why would somebody have thought of that?
So stupid.
Yeah, listen.
Of course, when you don't have any other options,
I
Let's
mean,
put a
seriously
bird up
though,
against a
even if
kid's
I have no
anus.
other options, I'm not killing a pigeon and shoving it up a kid's.
Well, why did the pigeon die? Did they actually shove it into the anus or
don't
just
know.
set it next to
Probably,
the anus?
if you want to hold a pigeon up to a kid's anus, it's going to fight you, and you're just going to end
Choke
up.
it. Yeah, choke it to death.
That's
Choke
the
it
only
out.
thing I can think of.
Okay.
But even if I had no other options, I wouldn't think of that. But listen, at the time, these people were saying, "Hey, you ought to give it a try." It used to be medical malpractice to treat congestive heart failure people with beta blockers. And the theory at the time was that you're reducing the contractility of the heart and you're actually making it worse. Now it's malpractice if you don't put people on that. So these things do change over time. So if that was accepted medical for even a brief instant medical knowledge, that we finally found out the truth.
Wow.
Thankfully.
Isn't that wild?
Well, here's story number 2.
All right.
When Mr. H., a pharmacist assistant from London, fell ill in the spring of 1842, nobody suspected the real cause. The 35-year-old had always suffered from asthma, so his family naturally assumed this was the reason that he was struggling to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, the usual remedies, enemas, bleeding, laxatives, failed to have any effect.
God, enemas.
He died
Can you
a few
imagine
days
you're
later.
having an asthma attack and someone's shoving a tube up your ass?
I mean, sounds fun. And when his doctor performed an autopsy, they were astonished to find a partial set of dentures lodged inside the patient's chest cavity.
Poor
The man's
bastard.
father recalled that the dead man had accidentally swallowed them 13 years earlier.
Wow.
The doctors concluded that he had, in fact, inhaled the false teeth, which had become lodged in his airway before causing the fatal event more than a decade later.
Oh, I'm suspicious of that timeline. I think he swallowed them. It ended up in his stomach, never went anywhere, and then at some point he aspirated them. Mm-hmm. They worked their way back up. He had a reflux episode, and they're probably partially broken down. Mm-hmm. He had a reflux episode, and he regurgitated these things, and then it ended up in his airway. If he had had dentures in his airway for 13 years, he would have known about it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you just get a tiny bit of
hair,
steak or a hair in there, you're going to cough like a lunatic.
Yeah. Well, and you got to
I
figure
think they're
too,
wrong on
getting those dentures into that in that airway.
And it was a partial.
But still, that's
could
still
have just been 2 teeth.
That'd be tough to get going down that way.
Correct.
It's easier to get coming up, like you said.
Yeah.
If you aspirate it.
Yeah, he's probably drunk.
Yep.
I mean, allegedly. I don't want him to sue me.
Laying on their side or laying on their back.
Yep, laying on their back,
Vomits a little bit,
regurgitated these things that's been sitting in his stomach all this time because he couldn't pass it.
Yep, that would make sense.
That would be my guess.
I'm with Dr. Steve on this.
All right. Very
Okay.
Good one, Tacey. Good one.
The next one is, in the summer of 1859, a 12-year-old girl from London named Sarah began to complain of nausea. Her parents remained unconcerned until one afternoon she vomited a large garden slug, which was alive and very active.
Oh, don't eat slugs.
Sarah Ann then threw up 7 more slugs of various sizes, but all alive. Asked if she'd eaten anything unusual, the girl told the family doctor that she'd like to snack on lettuces from the garden. The physician concluded that she had unwittingly swallowed a family of young slugs that had grown to maturity inside her stomach over the course of several weeks.
Wow.
The case prompted one of the best headlines
Oh, yeah. What was the headline?
The answer, oh, well.
Oh, no. A teaser.
Yeah, I
Drum
don't
roll.
know.
Drum roll. We need a drum roll.
Well,
Oh, I think I
one
know.
of the best
Oh,
headlines.
I have the headline right here.
The
It's-
next, okay,
Get your
what
hand off my penis!
is? Okay, there you go. So anyway, then it goes from the best headlines, and it must have skipped a page because it says
Okay.
the answer, unsurprisingly, is no, they cannot. Whatever was wrong with Sarah Ann, it was not a family of mollusks contentedly munching on
No.
vegetables in her stomach.
Exactly right. She ate slugs.
Yeah.
And there was a kid that ate a slug and he died from it. But slugs are not poisonous, but they can have toxins on their surface.
Okay.
And, they create mucus and serotonin, which makes them sort of nasty in their slime. But this kid got a parasite from the slug and he died from it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That'd be a hard way to go.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, she ate slugs. She's a damn liar is what it is. She just didn't want to say, well, allegedly,
Yeah,
again.
allegedly, yeah.
I don't want her to sue me for defamation. When was this?
18.
Okay.
I mean, it's been
All
a
right,
while. She's dead.
She's a liar. She
Okay.
ate slugs and was embarrassed.
She was having
because I'm
some
sure her
mental
mother
distress.
said, "You didn't eat slugs, did you?" And she was like, "No, Mama,
No, of course not.
no, mater. I ate lettuce from the
Lettuce from God.
I can't.
Okay, the
It's
next
terrible.
one
I'm not even trying to do an accent. I'm just trying to do a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
is one of the most commonly encountered medical conditions in the 18th century was bladder stones. The only effective treatment was the operation known as lithotomy,
Yeah,
performed
lithotomy.
without anesthetic.
That
It
would
was
be where they cut the stone out. So otomy meaning cutting.
Okay.
Ostomy meaning making a hole. Otomy meaning cutting.
It was excruciatingly painful, and patients often died.
Did they say how they did it?
No.
Okay, let's get the procedure.
Oh,
of the
bladder
lithotomy.
stone.
Why did
I can only think
so
of
many
two.
people have stones back then?
Well, this guy invented a new instrument, a
Hard
file
water?
made from a knitting needle. He inserted this implement up his own urethra 3 to 4 times a day and used it to file away the stone bit by bit. This was an uncomfortable experience, but apparently better than ending in a painful operation. And remarkably, 6 months later, he declared himself cured.
You know what's crazy is
Wow.
I just realized this, that when we put a woman in stirrups, we call it dorsal lithotomy position. And it just struck me that this is a holdover from way back in the day when they actually did lithotomies. I always wondered why it was called, stone cutting.
Yeah, lith being stone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dorsal lithotomy. It's like, that's, with your feet up in the stirrups.
Sure.
I was in dorsal lithotomy position when I had my vasectomy.
Right. Can you imagine doing that, running that file up there? All I can think of is how awful the camera that
No.
you and I both had. It was, jeez.
Yeah, I felt like I was pissing razor blades for, 2 days. Can you imagine?
No, I really.
Why were they having so many bladder stones?
I don't know.
I'm
I
guessing
mean-
hard water, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my guess.
I mean, that'd be my first thing comes to my mind. I can't think of anything else right offhand.
Okay. So the history of urinary stones in parallel with civilization. The roots of modern science and the history of urinary stone disease go back to ancient Egyptians and Mesopotamia. Hippocrates defined the symptoms of bladder stones. I've never seen anyone with bladder stones in my career. The first recorded details of perineal lithotomy were those of Cornelius Celsus. Oh my God. So they were doing this surgery back in 2,000 years ago?
Jeez Louise.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, the earliest literary quotations to stone disease describing symptoms and prescribing treatments to dissolve the stone are observed within the medical text Asutu in Mesopotamia between 3200 and 1200 BC. The first descriptions of cutting for the stone are found in Hindu and Greek writings. Shushruta, this is 600 BC, was a surgeon who lived in ancient India and is the author of the book Shushruta Samhita, which he describes 300 surgical procedures, including perineal lithotomy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Tacey, this is making my bladder hurt.
Good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Yeah. They were doing these perineal. Well, I mean, who do you think was the first person that said, well, your symptoms are probably caused by a stone in your bladder. Let's cut it out.
Wouldn't have to. They would have had to have done like an autopsy post.
Yeah, a bunch of. Well, they used to do autopsies.
Yeah, I would think.
I mean, if you read the, not the Sword and the Stone. What is it? The book about Michelangelo. Something in the Stone. No, Agony and the Ecstasy.
Okay.
He did. He was an anatomist, and he would do autopsies on people. Of course, they didn't have formaldehydes. These people stunk to high heaven, and it was really frowned upon. I mean, if you did autopsies on dead bodies, you were considered weird. But that allowed him to get all the anatomy right in his sculptures and stuff.
Well, the Chinese, that's how they found a lot of their anatomy was prisoners. After
They do it. They wait till they were dead before they did it.
Well, most of the time, I think.
Okay, it says here. Oh, and here's Michelangelo, who's thought to have high-functioning autism. Really, that explains his single-minded work routine, unusual lifestyle. He suffered from urinary stones. How about that? Huh. Oh, his terminal illness with symptoms of fluid overload suggests he may have had sustained obstructive nephropathy. That's where you no longer can get rid of fluid waste through the urinary system. It just backs up and then you die eventually. So, Napoleon Bonaparte had bladder stones. What the hell was? I'm really just kind of going through this, trying to see if they say why so many people had bladder stones back then. But anyway, all right, can't find anything. That was a good one, Tace.
Well, thank you. You're the one who sent them to me.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
You got any more?
Nope.
That's it?
That is it for time of topics.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Fair. Thank you. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Tace, for Tacey's time of topics. It was very good. Stimulated a lot of conversation. We have any questions from the Fluid family there, Dr. Scott?
Not yet.
Okay. And just remember, if anybody sends in a super chat, that must be done during the show.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's do this one. Oh yeah, I like this one. Let's try this and see. Oh, of course. Here we go with the. There we go.
Hi, Dr. Steve, Dr. Scott, Tacey. Hey, when I was a kid, I read stories on strange facts that intrigued me. And there used to be stories about spontaneous human combustion.
Correct.
Was that a real thing? I used to get nightmares when I had fevers because of those stories. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. So the human body is a chemical factory, and chemical energy is amazing. If you think about it, you eat food, and then you can run a marathon. How many miles is a marathon, Dr. Scott?
24.
24 miles. You can run 24 miles without refueling if you're in shape.
Right on.
That is the essence of chemical energy. It's unbelievable what you can do and turn chemical energy into motion and kinetic energy and potential energy, et cetera, et cetera. So, but we do not have a mechanism in our body for runaway chemical energy to the point where the whole body will flame on.
Okay.
And all of these cases, I used to believe in this I believed in a bunch of stupid crap when I was much younger. And but I did some research, and there are some common threads. The people are obese, so people were like, oh, well, they've got fat. They are, but that's part of it, but that's not the whole thing. They're obese, alcoholics or drug abusers, and smokers. So that kind of tells you the whole story. They're smoking, they're passing out, things are getting caught on fire, particularly sleeping garments and stuff like that. And then if there's enough heat, the fat in their body can become rendered and then become fuel for the fire. And so they come in and these people are just completely burned up. And that is the hypothesis. We've never caught it while it's happening, because how would you do that? You would put them out. If you caught somebody, you're not going to sit there and go, oh, this person is
let's see what happens.
Lit themselves on fire, and we're just going to see if this fits the model that we have. So we're not going to do that. But that's there's no real mechanism chemically with the kind of enzymatic chemical reactions that we have in the body for the whole body to hit 451 degrees,
Gotcha.
which is what the temperature paper flames on at. So, all right. But very interesting, though.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. All right. This one, Dr. Scott, you might be able to help with this one. Let's see here.
Hey, Dr. Steve. I have two questions.
Okay.
First one, on October 18th, I had a accidental overdose of sodium. No, not sodium. Anyway, channel blockers. Heart medication.
Okay.
And well, I was rushing
Calcium
to the ER.
channel blocker.
Calcium.
They put shit up my groin. They put shit down my throat. They put shit down in my neck.
Well, when he says they put shit down his groin, what he means is they put a line in. You know, they got access. And what they put down his throat was probably a tube into his lungs to help him breathe.
Right.
Okay, so lest anybody be confused about what...
My neck, and put some
I know what he's saying.
wires down my neck to my heart.
Yeah.
And
So he may have had a temporary pacemaker. Wires down his neck into his heart would be, a pacemaker.
Unless they did like a stat angiogram, or
Well, okay, yeah, that would be correct.
because then they would have got access in his leg,
But they would have gotten that access in his leg.
And run
Going
up to
down the
a wire,
neck, going down the neck and running wires in there is almost always,
pacer.
it's going to be a pacemaker.
yeah.
Right.
anyway, when they took the stupid tube out, I haven't been able to talk right since.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me, am I ever going to get my normal voice back again?
Yeah. He had damaged vocal cords from, and when you intubate somebody, you're taking a tube. Well, first you got to get them in position, and they've got a tube called a laryngoscope. And basically, it's a tongue depressor with a light on it and a handle, and you have to do it right, because if you jack that thing at the wrong angle, you're going to break the person's teeth and stuff like that. So you got to push it in their throat, and then just pull straight up. Now, so they have video ones now, so that you can see that the endotracheal tube, which is the thing that's going to breathe for them, is going past the vocal cords into the trachea.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Gotcha.
And then it'll be enclosed by the vocal cords. Well, there's a balloon on the end of that, and you blow up the balloon, which is circumferential, and that makes a good seal. So now you can put air in. It's not going to leak around the tube. It's just going to go into the lungs, and the only air goes into the lungs through the tube and comes out of the lungs through the tube. And if that thing is placed a little, it could be a placement issue. There can be trauma. It was an emergency, so they're trying to jam this thing in there. Yeah. They're trying to save your life.
Right.
It's not as clean as you would normally like for it to be, say, if you were doing surgery and the anesthesiologist is doing it, because they got plenty of time and it's calm and all that stuff. So they were trying to keep him from dying immediately, and there may be some trauma to the vocal cords. Now, if the vocal cords are just agitated and they've got some swelling,
irritated,
and inflammation
red.
and stuff,
Yep.
they should get better.
Yep.
And his voice should come back. If there's permanent damage, really only an ear, nose, and throat doctor is going to be able to tell that. So what they'll do is they'll shoot some cocaine or phenylephrine or something in your nose, and they take a fiber optic scope, hopefully not the same one that they shoved up Dr. Scott's in my bladder, but it's about the same size.
Oh.
And they'll shove it in there and look around. Then they can point it downward and look at the vocal cords and see if there's permanent damage or if there's just some swelling there that'll go away over time.
Yep, and they can do little tests like swallowing tests and things to make sure everything's moving normally.
Right.
Inside there. But yeah. So if it is,
and speech pathology would be the place that would send you
exactly. Yeah.
If you just have damage, mild damage that can be recovered from.
Right. Yeah. Especially if there's inflammation. And typically, we'll see a lot of that in vocalists.
Yep.
And so what we do is get them. Rest is number one.
Correct.
To quit irritating it, obviously, and if there's anything else that's offending, smokers, maybe living in spaces where there's not great air quality. And the other thing is, Dr. Steve, depending on, but if all that's normal, what can happen sometimes is too, when they cock the head back, if they turn it one way, you can actually get pinched nerves in the neck that can affect your
I see what you're
speaking.
saying. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
So when they had him in the position, if they held him there long enough, he could have damage to the recurrent laryngeal nerve, and that may regenerate.
As
well.
I mean, it can be anything.
As long as you don't cut it.
Well, yeah, exactly. As long as it's not severed, But even but that's a whole other discussion. But but if that's the case, there are a couple of things you're making sure that you can check the viability of that nerve. Taking away any kind of stress. Yeah. Anti-inflammatories can help. Needles in there and stimulating that nerve can sometimes help to bring it back. So,
So
that's the kind of stuff I
see
do.
an acupuncturist, but I don't have that. Not going to hurt anything.
No,
it might help. My niece Chris is a PhD speech pathologist.
Wow,
and she is probably yelling at her radio right now because she would say, "Well, she has all that stuff. She could do the direct laryngoscopy herself."
Right on.
And they do strobes and do all kinds of things. So if you can find a speech pathologist that can actually visualize your vocal cords, you could do that with one-stop shopping. But if there is damage that needs to be repaired, then the ear, nose, and throat doc's the only one that's going to be able to do that. But anyway, so let's see what the rest of his questions are.
I did have pneumonia after they took the tube out.
Okay.
I was on Combivent,
Combivent is an inhaler that has albuterol and ipratropium bromide. So the albuterol opens up the airways, and the ipratropium bromide decreases the amount of mucus that's being produced in the lungs. So.
That should kind of help, but anyway, am I ever going to get my voice back? Second question is...
Yeah, I think so, but we need more information. So you know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. Find that. Oh, sorry, I was channeling Eric. So ENT, unless you have a speech pathologist in your area that could do it all in one fell swoop.
I didn't shit the bed.
What?
My hemorrhoids exploded.
Oh.
Can you have hemorrhoids so bad that it causes you constipation because you just can't shit?
Yep.
And then when they burst, you just shit the bed?
Okay, I know why he's asking this question, and
he's asking for a friend.
He's asking for a friend,
of course.
And I know who that friend is. But here's the truth: is that if you have a rectal fissure, it hurts so bad to move your bowels that your bowels will just go, you know what? We're just going to lay back here for a little bit, and we're not going to defecate for a while. And that's a problem because the longer you wait, the worse it gets. And then the harder the stool is and the more it hurts. So you're really better seeing a proctologist, have them see if that rectal fissure needs to be fixed or if they could just give you rectal rockets. You guys familiar with a rectal rocket?
No.
It's a wax rocket-shaped suppository. And the reason it's rocket-shaped is it's got the regular suppository shape, but on the other end, it's got wings. or like a rocket. And you shove this thing in your ass, and the wings on the very end keep it there. It won't bloop up.
Okay.
So the sphincter will hold it on the neck, and then you have that part on the outside and then a part on the inside. It'll just hold it there. And then you could put medication in there, cortisone, lidocaine, to numb it up, stuff like that, to try to heal that rectal fissure, or at least make it feel better so that you can defecate.
Yes.
But now that's a rectal fissure. Hemorrhoids do bleed, and if you wipe your ass, say, with a sheet, and there's brown stuff on it, you can tell the difference between stool and blood. That's the thing, and that's what this incident he's talking about. You can tell the difference.
Yes.
If I bleed on a sheet, I can tell that that's dried blood. If I take a dump on a sheet, I can tell that that is fecal matter. So whether, you can make jokes like, oh, it looks like a chocolate-covered cherry. That's disgusting. There should not be shit in there. Just blood is enough. So people who know what I'm talking about. And but yes, they can bleed. They don't explode, but people do have bleeding hemorrhoids. And but you should not be also, leaking fecal matter at the same time. It's ridiculous. All right.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, remember we talked about Maya, that horrible malpractice case. And
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's.
Hey, Dr. Steve, 2 things real quick.
And I actually did a live stream about it as well. So that you can go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine for that.
Do you remember? I was telling you or talking to you in chat about the Take Care of Maya.
Yes.
Court case that was going on.
Right. This was a horrible lawsuit
Terrible,
at a prominent university in the Research Triangle.
And the documentary that was on Netflix. Anyway, it was a 9-week court case. It finally ended like last week or the week before. And
okay, so if you remember, the kid was getting high-dose ketamine for CRPS, regional pain syndrome. Mm-hmm. And when they went to Duke University, they weren't doing it there, but the mom demanded it. And when they did, then the providers there thought that the kid was having Munchausen by proxy. Ugh. And then the kid was taken away from the mother, who then subsequently ended her life because of the stigma. And so that's what this is. That's what this is about. And we did talk about how this could have been prevented. Number one, if the providers had just listened rather than jumped to conclusions. And also if the parents had made arrangements ahead of time. Hey, this is what our daughter's getting at this other clinic in this other town. Can we find someone locally that will understand what we're doing and just do it for us? Mm-hmm. So there was way more culpability on the side of the medical team on this one, if the story went the way that we understand the story to have gone. Anyway,
the jury,
and that's all allegedly, of course. So
awarded the family over $250 million.
What?
The total is like $262 million.
Wow. Now, I wonder if the institution will pay that, will end up having to pay that. $250 million. Well, that's, if they were trying to teach them a lesson, that's quite the lesson.
The jury said that the hospital, the staff, and their actions caused the death of Beata Kowalski. That was the mother of Maya.
Yeah.
She ended up killing herself because of, it
was a tragic story.
Maya.
And, the thing about the law is they can't bring her back. No. The only thing they can do is they have to, quote unquote, make you whole. And the only way to do that really in this day and age is with money. Oof. And you're still never whole. The kid's never going to have her mom again.
They took Maya away from her and they didn't allow her to see her. And they put this freaking beady lady in there who didn't let her talk to the kid.
Yeah.
What a fucking shit show that was.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm so glad they got $262 million.
Good Lord.
I think they can't go after the DCFS, like Department of Children and Family Services. They are immune. They cannot be sued for the, taking the kid away. But I wish they could. And
yeah, we have these kinds of cases sometimes where you think there's abuse and neglect, and if you just talk to people, you find out that there's more to the story, and you just, yes, you have to protect the patient, number one, but you have to also put on your Sherlock Holmes hat and do a complete investigation, which obviously we have not done. We're going based on what the media is telling us. And I also understand what Gell-Mann amnesia is, that, for us to assume that what the media's account of this is true is nuts as well. So we'll never know the whole truth of this. But I guess what we do know is that there was quite the judgment against the institution. So anyway,
bless him.
Well, we ended with a bummer, but I guess that's not a, it's a bummer all the way around. Even with $250 million, it's still a bummer.
Still sucks, yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, listen, thanks everyone. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking. Get off your asses. Get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks,
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
All right. You want to do?
We got 3 quickies.
We got some questions over
a
there.
couple quickies, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Vocal cord. Fuck up. Get rid of that. Okay. All right. You ready?
Yep.
So before we go, Dr. Scott, you got anything from the Fluid family? And by the way, if you want to become part of the Fluid family, go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, with weird medicine all being one word. You can join. We're going to start doing members-only things because we've got a bunch of members. It's only 99 cents. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We'll do something. And,
air conditioning.
Yeah. No, I mean for
No, I
them,
know.
not for us.
Oh, rats, I'm
jackass.
sorry. What's Christmas? I figured,
They have to get something for joining, other than the dumb perks that you do get, which is you get to use weird medicine themed icons, or emojis and stuff. But I'll be working on that, particularly over the break.
Cool.
And when I get a little bit of free time. But anyway, so what do you got?
Yeah, real quick, we've got 3 actually good ones in there, all quick questions.
Okay.
Hickey wants to know if a husband has to get a pacemaker. He shoots left-handed and is concerned he will have to give up his rifles.
Oh, wow.
So
okay, wait a minute now. That's an excellent question.
I would learn how to shoot right-handed.
Really? You think so?
Would be my first
Okay,
thing.
so what you're worried about is,
the compression.
The pacemaker is going to be in a pouch under the skin.
Left
on
shoulder.
Right in the left pectoral muscle.
Yeah.
I'm looking here. It says instructions following pacemaker implantation from Texarkana Cardiology Associates. It says shooting a gun is fine after the device is in place. You got to make sure that pouch is completely healed, for one thing.
Yeah, not anytime soon.
Do not place the butt of the gun over the device itself.
No.
They say shooting with the opposite arm is recommended.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So now, I think I could invent something that would take the pressure off of the pouch and redirect it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. That would be possible, but that's what they're worried about, is that you're having a rapid acceleration type pulse to the pacemaker. Mm-hmm. And if you break the pacemaker, you're effed.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, you could dislodge, I mean, it's possible to dislodge wires.
Sure.
To strain the wires. I mean, it's, that's a big mess. So
Yeah,
that could
so-
potentially.
So I would learn to shoot the other way, or
right
shoot
in
pistols.
Yeah, shoot pistols. How about a bow and arrow?
Yeah, bow and arrow.
Yeah.
You could do that. Yeah, that's even more fun.
Yeah, I would even.
Matter of fact, I will send him a copy
of your books.
An archery book that a friend of mine wrote. If they'll email me.
Okay.
That was his wife is in the chat, but he is
Hickey. Yeah, talk like a hick.
Oh,
to me,
talk
yeah.
like a hick. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I call her Hickey.
Oh, what does she care?
I was gonna say.
I'm just
I think she's encouraging him to put the butt of the gun
I'm
on the left.
knowing her.
All right, so hey,
she's actually trying to come up with a legit way to kill him, but she's not culpable. Right. But this is recorded for all posterity.
That's
Sorry,
right.
So.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Hey, so Longfellow wants to know. He takes metoprolol for PVCs. His doctor tells him they're benign. Is that true, or this is benign?
PVCs? Yeah. People with well, it depends. In the absence of heart disease, PVCs are generally benign. Some people's hearts just do them. All of our hearts do them sometimes. We've all felt premature ventricular contractions. Every once in a while, you might feel your heart thumping out of your chest for 30 seconds or so. Or it's not even that long. It seems like it is. And athletes, elite athletes will have more PVCs than anybody. Mm-hmm. So if they're symptomatic, they'll treat them with metoprolol or another beta blocker, and that generally works. But what's going on is every once in a while your heart, it goes beat, 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 and then if it beats for whatever reason, just electrical noise, it goes beat, 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 and then it pauses. But during that pause, it is still filling up with blood coming from the venous side, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's stretching it, and then it's going, fuck, I've got to beat. Boom, 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 kaboom, boom, boom, like that.
And that's what gets your attention.
And that's the part that catches your attention. It's not the skipped beat, it's the response to the skipped beat that you feel. And it causes what we name those palpitations in medicine. Now, if you're having a myocardial infarction, you have chest pain with palpitations. That's a poorer prognostic sign. Mm-hmm. If you're having a lot of PVCs with a heart attack. So, but in the absence of heart disease, PVCs or premature ventricular contractions tend to be benign.
Gotcha.
All right, good one.
Yep, good one. Last one real quick.
Yep.
Kush is asking, so why do or how do external hemorrhoids become internal hemorrhoids?
They don't.
He said they occasionally...
No, you either have internal hemorrhoids or external hemorrhoids.
Right, he has occasional bleeding but not a lot of pain. So.
And you can have both.
Yep.
So hemorrhoids are just varicose veins of the ass. Mm-hmm. Tacey, you want to take this question?
No.
Damn it, Steve! It's nap time. Don't be fucking with her.
No.
Get your hand off my penis.
Oh, damn it.
Get your hand off my penis!
So they are varicose veins of the ass, and you can have internal ones and you can have external ones, and it just depends on where the vein enlarges. The external ones, if they clot, they become thrombosed external hemorrhoids, and that is... Those patients walk in the most pain that you'll ever see anybody in, that walk out completely pain-free.
Yep.
Because when they walk in, they're bent over, they can't sit, and when you're done treating them, they walk out completely pain-free. Those are some of your most grateful patients.
Right on.
But you have to incise it in the office, and you have to have your nurse on the other side. The patient's curled up in a ball, fetal position. The nurse is standing in front of their chest, and then they have to reach across the patient and lift the upper ass cheek up to expose this, and while you're working in there. Mm-hmm. You clean it all up, numb it up, you make an incision, and you express the thrombus from there, and then you stick a corner of a piece of gauze in there to keep it from closing back up again, and then you tape their ass cheeks shut to add pressure to keep the bleeding, to stop the bleeding. Mm-hmm. And then after about 2 hours, they can get in the bathtub and do like a sitz bath, and then they're done. But they will walk out completely pain-free.
Wow. That's awesome.
So there you go. All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks always go to Dr. Scott, Tacey. Thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel. Sirius XM channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on demand, and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website, drsteve.com, for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, and get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks.
See ya.
I tune her back in here, so I've been using the robotic tuner.
Where's your tuner?
It's in the box.
Oh, I was going to see it. I haven't seen it. D. And then the chorus is D. C. G, D, G, 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 C, 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 G, D, G, D, 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 G. It's a. I love this song.
All right.
Christmas in Prison. NG. For.
Now, we got a copyright strike on our last thing that we did, so that meant that we at least sounded like...
That's right, we're 2 for 2.
Yeah. And what I'm doing now is I'm just telling it, just cut it out.
Okay, yeah.
Nobody wants to listen to us do this shit anymore. Okay. Oh, wait. Wait.
Yeah, a little reverby.
Are you going to use the,
the
other mic?
Yep. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Take a nap here.
You don't have to take that off of there.
I just don't want to strain that.
Okay.
There we go. Now we're hot, baby.
All right.
There we go, Duck Steve.
All right.
It was Christmas in prison and the food was real good. We had turkey and pistols carved out of wood. And I dream of her always, even when I don't dream. Her name's on my tongue and her blood's in my stream. Wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God. She reminds me of a chess game with someone I admire, or a picnic in the rain after a prairie fire. Her heart is as big as his whole goddamn jail. She's a sweeter and saccharine and a drug herself. Wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God. The searchlight in the big yard swings around with a gun. The spotlights, the snowflakes like dust in the sun. It's Christmas in prison, there'll be music tonight. I'll probably get homesick, I love you, good night. Wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God.
Okay, I kind of got it.
No, you totally got it. It was I just love. They've got turkey and pistols carved out of wood.
Yeah, I like it.
It's just so beautiful.
It's an Irish. It's an Irish
so
chick.
beautiful.
You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it one more time. Let me see. I get my. Yeah, all right. It was Christmas in prison and the food was real good. We had turkey and pistols carved out of wood. And I dream of her always, even when I don't dream. Her name's on my tongue and her blood's in my stream. Wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God.
I'm trying to do it in a different position, so let me.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah. She reminds me of a chess game with someone I admire, or a picnic in the rain after a prairie fire. Her heart is as big as this whole goddamn jail. She's sweet as saccharin in a drugstore cell. Wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God. Well, the searchlight in the big house swings round with the guns, and the spotlight and the snowflakes like dust in the sun. It's Christmas in prison, there'll be music tonight. I'll probably get homesick, I love you, good night. Hey, wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
We should do Get Me Out of Prison for Christmas. Have you ever heard that? Hang on a second. My friend Murray, who sadly is no longer with us, and I did this song together, and the version that we did it on a really crummy, let me see if I can find it, really crummy recorder, and the recording is terrible. And I would love, as a tribute for him, get me out of prison. And I'll sing it.
Oh, cool.
Damn it. Where I know I have it somewhere. Lord, get me out of prison for Christmas. It's a good one. I don't know where it is. I've got to find it. Oh, Heavenly Parole. Here it is. I found it. You want to hear it?
Oh, my, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. And wait.
It's hard to tell when the life of a man takes a downward turn. In all these messes I've been in, I just never seem to learn. I freely admit that I've made mistakes. Some things I couldn't help. And Lord, what I was going through was nothing less than hell. Lord, I know that I'm prone to drink and other enemies of the soul. And I know that's why I ended up in this God-forsaken hole. But when I lost my job and my wife got sick, Lord, what else could I do? I could take a whole lot, but I couldn't stand there and watch my children with no shoes. So I got me my gun, I took me a ride down to the convenience mart. How could I have known when I came back out that my pickup wouldn't start?
G.
The manhunt didn't last too long. They found me hiding down by the creek.
A minor.
Now here I sit at Christmas time, and there's just one thing that I seek. Lord, get me out of prison for Christmas.
Give me the good Christmas.
Lift me from this dark and dirty hole.
C.
Let me see my dying wife and my starving kid.
A minor.
Place me on your heavenly parole.
G.
Lord, make me feel like Christmas
F, G,
in my soul.
C.
Well, they're probably hanging the Christmas lights on the trailer door tonight. And they're probably baking cookies and singing Silent Night. And their mama paints up her pale face and tries to stand up strong and tell them, though their daddy loved them, that what he did was wrong.
Now listen to the cheesy ass Casio.
This is you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm just sitting here staring at that one lone distant light that's reminding me of that old star that once did shine so bright, that led the wise men from their ancient home so far away to worship at the manger where the baby Jesus lay. And the spirit of that Christmas, Lord, it's still alive today. I've seen it take the worst of men and change their evil way. And I've changed too, Lord, in my ways. This I do believe. And that's why I make this one request on this blessed Christmas Eve. Lord, get me out of prison for Christmas. Lift me from this dark and dreary hole.
Get the harmony.
Let me see my dying wife and starving kids. Place me on your heavenly parole. Lord, make me feel like Christmas in my soul. Oh Lord, please get me out of prison for Christmas. Lift me from this dark and dingy hole. Let me see my dying wife and my starving kid. Place me on your heavenly parole. Oh my God. Oh Lord, make me feel like Christmas in my soul. Yes, Lord, please make me feel like Christmas in my soul. Oh Lord, yes, make me feel like Christmas in my soul.
I love it.
All right.
I love you.
So we'll do it?
I can't write that. Dude, I gotta go.
No, I don't mean now.
No, I'd love to.
Asshole. I'm not saying now.
No, I'd love to.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'll sing it.
Yeah, I'll sing it. Well, you got to do the harmony.
Oh, I'll get your harmony right. Lord, get me out of Christmas.
All right. Thanks, everybody.